action here at the Listen Inc. Monster Stack at the Canad Inn in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Season XI of the Dakota Poker Tour continues right here, right now, in a field of 126 or so players, whittled down to 9. On the line, $7,750. We're going to find out who our winner is here in the next X amount of hours. Who knows? But we're going to start off with seat 1. Go ahead and introduce our players. Barry Traub, who was on our feature table prior, from East Grand Forks, $1,690,000 in chips. In seat 2, man, I'm glad that he was able to fix his private jet because he's here, right now, all the way from Hawaii. Tiny, $1,445,000 in chips. In seat 3, out of Crookston, Minnesota, Mark Duffner was also on our feature table earlier, $1,020,000 in chips. In seat 4, we have Chris Bommersbach of Grafton, North Dakota, $880,000 in chips. In seat 5, also from the previous stream, Martin Short of Grand Forks, North Dakota, $1,150,000 in chips. And then we go to seat 6, Mike Columbus of Red Lake Falls, Minnesota, $215,000. He is our short stack at the table. In seat 7, again, the man, the myth, the legend, the one who doesn't like to pay anything to play, but he still does make it to final tables, Mike Merrick of East Grand Forks, $1,020,000 in chips. In seat 8, TK Tyler Coldness of Hendrum, Minnesota, $2,090,000. This is his first final table of the year. We'll see if he can cash in big at the Dakota Poker Tour. And to round off our table in seat 9, Satya Vegi of $950,000 in chips. He's coming all the way from West Fargo, North Dakota. So we'll wait on our instructions from our tournament director, Dana Castaneda, for the shuffle up and deal. Our blinds are starting at $30,000, $60,000 with a $60,000 big blind ante. So starting to get quite expensive to play. So if you're those short stacks, anywhere, who is our short stack? Mike Columbus is our short stack. Chris Bommersbach will be in second to last. And Satya will need to be making some pushes early and often. So here, Chris Bommersbach actually waking up to aces on the hand number 1 of our final table. Let's see. He raised up to $150,000. Let's see if... Oh, boy. So Tyler will call with pocket 10s. This could be... If I did get quieter, that's because we are commentating about 30 feet from the table. I don't want to risk them hearing me as to ruin the integrity of the game. So Barry will call. Tiny folds. Over to Mark. Looking down at Jack 7. He'll fold. Over to Chris. Oh, so Barry did, he did make the call. So we got aces versus 10s versus 4s. Let's see if someone can spike a trips on the flop, and they cannot. Comes 6-5 queen. Chris very much in the lead right now. He'll lead off the betting with $125,000, $150,000, $100K. $100,000. Tyler will call. Barry, bottom pair, I would consider just getting out of the hand now. You didn't spike your trips. Gotta think you're pretty dominated here, and he will go away. So we'll see a turn that comes a 4 and 1 card too early. Oh. So Chris will go all in here. About $630,000. See if Tyler can get away from it or not. Man, I wonder how Barry's feeling right now. Doesn't show a whole lot of emotion at this time. Flash to him real quick. I can just see the regret in his eyes from not calling that, but so 630 over to TK. TK will fold. That'll give the Bomber. The Bomber will win that one then. Wow, what a first hand. If only Barry would have stayed in one more card, could have had some absolute fireworks. Aces would have been cracked. Holy shnikes. So Barry's our chip leader, 1.5 million. No, that's just our player position. Tyler is our chip leader, 1.8 million. Got that screwed up, so there's your chip count. All the way down at the bottom, Mike and Mark, Satya. Well, Mike's really the one that's most disadvantaged here. Doesn't really have enough chips to, if he does go all in and you have a halfway decent hand with anyone else, it's not really chunking you for too much. So he won't be very intimidating when he goes all in. Almost surely we'll get a call with a halfway decent hand. So here it is. Mike is all in. King Jack offsuit. So Mark here with pocket sixes will be, yep, here's exactly what I was talking about. Oh my God. Chris only 155,000 to call. Same hand as Mike. Wow, so the Bomber is going to call as well. So we'll have 3 players into the flop. Mike all in at risk. We'll see what the flop comes. 3-4 ace. So we'll have to see Mark and Chris duke it out here. We're going to check. We very well might see a check down to the river. And there's a deuce on the turn. Check. And then on the river comes an 8. It's going to give Mark the check mark, but he's going to check, and Mark will eliminate Mike in 9th place. Mike will take home $640. Excellent tournament for Mike Columbus. And Mark will pull in a nice sized pot here. It's going to bring him over $1 million in chips. So our short stack is eliminated. Our next shortest stack is now Satya Vegi in seat 9. He's the only player with less than $1 million in chips. So Michael folds, Satya will fold over to Barry. Tiny queen 7 suited. He's going to raise it up probably to 175, 65,000, 165,000. Mark will fold over to Chris. Chris will fold his queen jack. And Martin Short, ace king suited. That's a really good hand if you ask me. Again, I'm trying to keep it pretty quiet over here. I'm hiding behind a couple monitors and about 30, 40 feet away from the table. So at this quiet level, they shouldn't be able to hear me. But just in case, I'm going to keep it quiet so as not to ruin the integrity of the game. And Martin's going to 3-bet to 500,000. Tiny, not scared, going to call. And ultimately, the thing is that you can win with any 2 cards. Doesn't matter what you have. It's just always nice to have a better premium hand to start. But here comes our flop, Jack 6-3. Martin is going to go all in. Tiny going to have hopefully a very simple decision to make. So this would bring Tiny down to 400,000 should he call. And actually less than that, it would have been less than that, it would have been about 300,000. But he's going to fold, and Martin's going to take home a nice sized pot now. And as long as chips are coming your way, you're a happy camper. So again, welcome back to final table coverage of the Listen Inc. Monster Stack at the Playmakers Lounge in the Canad Inn up in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Did go home last night to Fargo and don't regret it, but I just hate how bad the weather is outside. I'm going to complain about the weather for a second because it's awful. Blowing wind, but luckily here we are inside. Shouldn't have to worry about too much affecting us in here. Obviously, when we tear down and load out, hopefully it's not blowing a bunch of snow and we end up getting snow drifts in our trailer. So not much happening there. Want to thank our dealer, Matt Jensen, sticking around, and all of our dealers that came up and braved the weather this weekend. Wasn't that fun? They did stay overnight in town here, so that eliminated, losing a bunch of dealers or having them not be able to come up here and make it to deal this tournament. So thank you to all of our dealers. Appreciate each and every one of you. And Matt Jensen, winner of the next Dakota Poker Tour event, Dead Money Open. He was the Season X winner that happened 2 years ago. Matt Jensen actually dealt in that tournament got cut early and actually ended up winning with a late entry. 100% legit. And that Dead Money Open is coming up Saturday, February 12th over at the M&J Saloon in West Fargo. A couple opportunities to win some seats into that. So the Free Poker Network has their bar leagues. We have our bar leagues around town, and you can win a seat if you go to a FPN bar league night. Details of that are to be announced. I'm sure Bar 9 will be one of the bars that you can win a seat at. But you can essentially free roll into the Dead Money Open, and then Friday night, if you don't want to, you can't play in one of our bar league nights, Friday night we will be doing satellites. So single table satellites, you can, if you win first in those, you get an entry into the main event on Saturday. Again, that's February 12th. I'm sure cards in the air at noon. So Martin raised it up to 175,000. Michael fold. Tyler will call. Over to Satya Vegi. Most certainly will fold. So, sorry for the disappointment from our first broadcast this evening. Nikki did not make it to the final table. She was out in 10th place, so she was essentially on the bubble for the final table, but she did take home, I think it was $550. So definitely made the trip up here worth it. Thank you, Nikki, and all of her super fans for tuning in. So Tyler will lead out with 80,000. Actions on Martin to call, and looks like he will. Turn is a king. Tyler has an open-ender. Martin spikes his king. So Tyler's going to bet, looks like 115 maybe? 165,000. So Martin just going to call. Maybe pondering if TK has, the only thing that would beat him right now is aces or kings, which kings is less likely than aces. River is a 2, and that's going to put the check mark behind Martin's name should anything go wrong. Martin should be winning this. We'll see if Tyler decides to be aggressive and try to steal the pot here, but he's going to check. So Tyler checks again. Martin will bet 300,000. Going to see if he can take Tyler to Value Town. And Tyler will fold, so Martin bringing in a pot over 1.3 million, I guess, exactly. Martin will be eclipsing the 2 million in chips mark. I think our first one. He's our chip leader at the table. So there it is. Now 3 players under $1 million. Satya, Mike Merrick, and Tiny, all under that $1 million chip mark. Chips are a little too dispersed to put a $1 million chip plaque out there. I'm going to really push hard to get a $1 million plaque out there because this is maybe the best tournament to do it at because this is a deep stack tournament. The full buy-in got you 90,000 in chips. God, Martin on a bit of a heater right now. He's going to raise it up to 175,000. Michael fold. Tyler will call with pocket nines. Barry's going to fold. So Martin and Tyler, 2 hands in a row, getting after it. Once again, well, Tyler's got actually it's the slight disadvantage. But after the flop, the advantage greatly favors Tyler now. So we'll see how aggressive Martin gets here. And he does go ahead and bet. He's going to bet 200,000. So Tyler, little does he know, his nines are good, but he's going to go ahead and see. He's going to call to see a turn. Oh boy, and an ace comes on the turn. That's going to give Tyler huge pause for concern, knowing that ace something is going to definitely be within Martin's wheelhouse, his range of cards he would play in this situation. So, wow, Tyler probably knows exactly what happened there, and he's feeling a little disgusted in there. Martin will show the ace-king. He'll show he caught the ace on the turn, and better be careful, Martin. Tyler will write your name down. He'll come after you if you're not careful. But the rich just get richer at this point. And, man, congratulations to Martin Short. Let's see how the rest of this plays out. Goodness gracious, we got a lot of action here on the Facebook live stream. And you can also go to the YouTube channel, Dakota Poker Tour, and view it on there. But Chase Lardy says, let's go TK, Duffner, and Columbus. So, a little late now. Mike Columbus eliminated in 9th place. Joe Anderson, hello. Welcome to the live stream. He's also a Barry fan. Junior Gons, hello. John Wayne Colness. Good luck, TK from Papa John. He's in the house. Jason Bobber Gilbertson. He says he's downstairs, Joe, so maybe he's just downstairs watching from afar. Hello again to Peter and John Marie. And Chad Fowler. Welcome to the live stream. All right, so Barry 8-3, Tiny 8-7, Satya pocket fives. Flop comes Jack, Queen, King. Nope, 10 Jack, Queen. I'm an idiot. So Barry, Tiny, and Satya all check. Ace on the turn. I'm going to guess the first aggressor will be the one to win. Welcome Jordan Hams to the live stream. So as I said, Barry first aggressor, everyone else folds, and he'll be pulling in some much-needed chips. Martin with the suited connectors will fold. Michael fold. Over to TK. He'll fold. Satya, ace 4 offsuit. He'll fold. Over to Barry, the B-man. Barry gonna raise it up to 200,000. Action on Tiny with ace jack suited. He's gonna re-raise to all in. Oh my goodness. Mark will fold. So fold it around again to Barry. If there was anything to fold, but Tiny just insane on the poker table. We see him all the time coming up from Hawaii, which, I mean, even if he did win every tournament he was in, I still don't think it would cover travel costs and lodging and all that stuff. Hell, just to even fill up the private jet. So Tiny just spending money to win less than the cost it is to play, but we sure are happy to see him every time here at the Dakota Poker Tour. I think he final tabled at the Valley City Eagles Eagle Eye Open a couple years ago or last year. The Buffalo City Showdown in Jamestown, I think he final tabled there. He's just continuously on, like, playing really good poker. Tiny's going to raise it up here to 225,000. Martin will fold. Action's on the big bomber. He's in the big blind, so only another 145,000 more to call. It'd be about 1/11th of his chip stack. Tiny trying to maybe steal the blinds here. Bomber's going to be thinking of protecting his big blind. Is his hand good enough to protect the big blind? And it's not. He'd rather not spend the extra money and just let Tiny take it. Maybe if he had a different hand, probably would have considered calling that or re-raising. Who knows?
Better than a hot wiener in your mouth. When you put it that way, yeah.
Fold around to Barry in seat 1. Barry with ace-jack offsuit. Probably consider raising it up here, and it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. Probably going to be minimum 200,000, if not more. So looks like it'll be 200,000 is the raise. Tiny will dance as a figure of speech. Fold around to Martin. Martin will fold. So we'll have Tiny versus Barry. We'll see a flop. Flop comes deuce 5 queen. No help to either player, but we'll see what happens. Maybe first aggressor again will be first one to win. But there's one thing about Tiny. I've both dealt with him at my table and watched him play plenty of times. Tiny is aggressive. It's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. And Tiny's got a lot of fight. He'll make sure, put you in a gut check. So Barry there betting 225,000. Tiny, knowing when it's lost, he will fold. Another shout out to Brada Mosher on the Facebook live stream. Tyler Kolnis looking down at ace-4 offsuit. He's going to fold over to Satya. Satya will fold over to Barry. He'll fold over to Tiny. Tiny folds. Mark folds. The Bomber will fold over to Martin Short. In the small blind, we'll see if he tries to just get in cheap on a hand or not. It's 40,000 to call. Looks like he's going to raise it up. He's going to try to steal the blind from the big. He's going to raise it up to 175,000. Mike with 6-9 offsuit. He's going to surrender his hand. That's just a little too much for what he has. So once again, first place here, $7,750. Next player to go out, $860. So Martin raising to 200,000. Gonna try to steal some more blinds and antes, and he sure does. Wow, nice job. Nice little bluff there. Can't be mad about that. So Barry will look down at pocket sixes. First to act. It's going to be kind of a tough position. I feel like in first act you have so many players in front of you. You almost got to be aggressive and raise it up to really test the others who maybe want to play as well. But looks like he's raising it up to 180,000 maybe. Tiny gets out of the way immediately. Oh, wow, and the Duff goes all in. I'm going to fold around to Mike Merrick. Mike Merrick again free-rolled his way all the way to the final table. He's taking home no less than $860 once our next player is eliminated, which could be this hand. Now we see the big pay jump into the 4 digits, 1,050 to 7th place. I think we were just, I don't know if we were getting a count or what, but I think we're folding around to Satya. Satya will fold, and action's on to Barry, whether or not he wants to call. It'll be $1 million to call. Welcome Rachel Bateson to the live stream. Hello. Barry thinking it over. Is he willing to absolutely cripple himself if he does end up losing? And he is not, so he'll fold. Not quite the hand you want to risk it all on, or over half your chip stack. So good fold from Barry. We'll fold around to Satya. Look down at ace-3 suited. He's going to go all in. It's time for him. He's one of our short stacks at the table. All in for $580,000. Action on to Barry in the big blind. Yep, Barry will wisely fold. If they were suited 8-7, maybe it would be a little bit more appealing to call there, but some more shout-outs again to Chastity Askvig and Chris Edwardson, some TK fans. So our Nikki fan club turned into a TK fan club. Speaking of TK, Tyler Colness, he's wearing a Flop the World hat. So I want to give a shout out to Flop the World and Ben Valder. of MSPT, good friends of Dakota Poker Tour, and a lot of our players here at the Dakota Poker Tour do go and play in some MSPT events down, a lot of them down in the cities. Shout out to Peggy Valness for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And Timothy Edward Warren. Barry and Tiny in a hand here. Tiny does get the straight. Barry has a pair of eights. There's a flush draw out there, so if Barry's aggressive enough here, he might get Tiny. Well, he might get him off it. But Tiny very quickly calls the 225,000 raise, and he will. He's got the check mark, and he'll bring home the bacon. So very nice sized pot for Tiny from Hawaii. I think that'll bring him up over 2 million in chips as well. Nope, 1.5 mil. My math is off, but Martin Short over 3 million in chips. He is our chip leader at the moment. Mike Merrick and Tyler Kolness, Satya Vegi holding on at the bottom. Only three not in that million chip range. Gonna fold around to Barry. Barry will fold Tiny. Looking down at 5-3 suited. As I said, Tiny very aggressive almost all the time. He's gonna raise it up to 240,000. Over to the Duff. He's gonna fold. And Tiny will win that in the small blind position. So, wow. Tiny just keeps on having his chip stack grow. Again, if you play in the Dakota Poker Tour, are giving away 3 $1,500 World Series of Poker packages for the Player of the Year, the player who has had the most points, and you get points by one, registering and playing in Dakota Poker Tour events. And then if you cash, the amount of money you cash is your number of points. So the player with the top points will have Player of the Year honors, win a $1,500 World Series of Poker package, and then at the end of the year, in our final tournament, we'll have a Tournament of Champions. So all players who have won in Season XI will all be invited back for another free roll just for the Tournament of Champions. And then our Player Appreciation free roll. Another tournament going on, and that'll be at the end of the year. All of that is to be announced. We're still a long ways away from that. But here we got Barry and the Bomber in on a hand. Flop comes ace, queen, queen. Bomber will check. Barry has the option. Does he check or bet here? He can be aggressive, but I would imagine if Bomber... So his 100,000 is the bet. Now, I bet you if Barry came over the top here with a nice re-raise, he'd probably get Barry off of this hand. Maybe. We'll see. Again, I'm in the back. I'm commentating. These guys are playing. They know way more about each other and how to read people and all that stuff. Way better than I do. Yep, so the Bomber's going to fold. Nice aggressive play from Barry to win that hand.
Speedy to go. Speed 7, fold. Speed 8, fold. Speed 9, fold. Speed 1, fold. Seat 2 raises to 220,000. Seat 3 folds. Seat 4 folds. Seat 5.
Here again, Tiny raises it up, being aggressive.
Small blind.
Huh? No, not this hand, but 15 minutes ago. I'm watching myself look stupid.
Seat 8 folds. Seat 7, count on combo. 4 billion, seat 8, throwing number 1. Seat 9 folds.
Barry looking down at ace 6. Under the gun +2. Barry will fold. Tiny will fold. Duff will fold. Bomber will.
Seat 4 raises to 200,000.
The Bomber will drop a bomb, raise it up to 200,000, and allow Martin and Mike to get out of the way. So the Bomber will be taking home the blinds and annies.
Didn't even want those chips. Oh, Mike Mayer says.
Just gonna get him overconfident, and then
Boom.
Shout out to Joe Mitchell asking how much the buy-in was. It was a $200 buy-in with a $100 add-on for a max of 90K in chips. Also want to welcome Joshua James to the live stream on Facebook. Again, you can watch on Facebook and YouTube. Barry here with Queen 10 offsuit, 80,000 to call. And looks like he's going to raise it up to 160,000. That'll make Tiny get out of the way. The Duff. Yeah, Duffner with kings. Wow. He's going to re-raise it up to 425,000. The Bomber will get out of the way. Martin Short out of the way. Mike Merrick out of the way. Over to TK. Pocket eights. Yeah, not good enough. I wouldn't play that hand either. So Barry gonna have to throw a bunch of chips in the middle if he's gonna wanna continue chasing this hand. Barry being put in a very difficult situation. He's just going to fold and wisely. That hand would have played out any longer. Barry would have found out he was dominated. All right, Barry just consistently playing a ton of hands. Here he has King 10 offsuit. He's going to raise it up to 160,000. Fold around to Martin. Martin will call. Mike will fold. TK will fold. Satya will most likely fold as well in the small blind or the big blind. So we'll have two players into the flop. Flop comes deuce, jack, queen. So Barry flops an open-ender. Still does not beat Mike's ace high, but it's essentially a coin flip right now. Barry checks. Martin reaching for chips, looks to be 250,000. Is it too much to get him off of his draw, or is it not enough? We'll see. I do know one thing, an ace on the turn would be devastating for Martin. Barry will call. And we're going to see a turn here. We got a nice big pot shaping up here. And just as I said that, here comes an ace on the turn. So Martin spikes his ace. Barry turns his open end straight. Does have the straight, but wow, so Barry's gonna check knowing he's got the nuts. Unless a diamond or a heart comes on the river, might give Barry some more pause for concern, but Barry trapping Martin. 500,000 is the bet from Martin. Barry licking his chops, going all in for 685,000. Only 185 more to call from the chip leader. I mean, I don't think you can really fold this. You're, as they would say, you're pot committed. Yeah, and Martin will make the call, and he's going to be extremely disappointed to know he just doubled Barry up.
King 10
Yeah,
versus Ace Trey.
Martin coming up short.
Already solidified Broadway.
No outs. Check mark is on Barry. Nothing can save him, and there it is. The river's a 5 of hearts. Barry Traub going to double up off of our chip leader. That's who you're going to want to double up off of, and Matt making sure to put Barry to work on stacking up his chips again. So I don't think Barry's going to be too upset knowing he just doubled up off the chip leader. And holy cow, that was a nice little hand there. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our chip stacks again. Yeah, and that's going to put Barry in the lead with 2.4 million, Tiny 1.9. And Mike, Tyler, and Satya all down in about around that 500,000 mark. Yeah, crazy little hand there. Barry was extremely happy, I'm sure. Shout out to Donnie Dahl and Heidi. Rogan Camp, shout out to Robin Mason and Kyle Wahlberg for all tuning in to our live stream here.
100,000 after seat 2 folds.
Here in the Duff raises it up to 200,000 over to the Bomber. He's got Big Slick. I can see either a call or definitely a re-raise here. It's not a bad option either. Yeah, and that's what he's going to be doing. Looks to be 300 for 550. Just 550,000. That is the raise. Mike Merrick will fold. TK folds. Satya folds. Barry most likely going to fold here. Action back over to the Duff. Mark's going to fold his pocket nines. Probably a good play. Definitely, I mean, takes the decisions out of his hands. Going into the flop, turn, river, however long, he would have stayed in there and would rather lick his wounds for 200K rather than 550K.
Attention players. This level will end in 1 minute.
And disasters. Oh my. This level will end in disaster. This message will self-destruct. Right after you pay the on thing.
Sorry. C3 fold. C4 fold.
So no matter who our winner is here today, we're going to have a new DPT champion for Season XI. That's 11 once again for those that aren't familiar with Roman numerals. TK will fold. He's been pretty card dead as of late. He's perhaps a little frustrated, but that's how poker goes, is you may be card dead for hours. As long as your chip stack can weather the storm, wait until you have that nice hand or something you can play with and capitalize. Barry will fold. Tiny looking at 5 deuce suited. He'll fold as well. And, well, he's not folding because everyone folded to him. So he'll take back his blinds, his blind and ante, and win the small blind from Barry.
100 and 100. 100, yeah.
So our blinds just went up to 50,000, 100,000, 100,000 with in the big blind ante. So the bomber, 100K to call. He's going to raise it up to 300,000. Action is on Martin. Martin with pocket sevens.
Seat 5 forward. Seat 7 forward. Seat 8 forward.
So everyone will get out of the way over to Satya, who's got pocket tens and very well might be going all in here. Only 240,000 more. I can't imagine a call. I don't know why you would. You have to shove this. Yeah, there's the jam. Okay, so Satya's all in. Over to Barry. He'll most likely fold and get out of the way. Over to Tiny. Barry probably hasn't looked at his hand yet, maybe? I don't know. Barry will fold, and Tiny, what has he got? Ace 3 suited. Not good enough. So he's going to let one more of the duff. He'll fold, and 240,000 to call the all-in. I don't see why not, especially when you got 1.2 million in chips. So the bomber is going to find himself really far behind now. You got 10s versus 8s all in a call, and Satya at risk of being knocked out should an 8 or anything else come up that would make him. There's a bunch of blanks. 2-3-2. Satya still in the lead. Needs to avoid an 8 and an 8 only. There's a 4. There's 1-8 left in the deck. Oh, it's a 9. Scary for Satya, but Satya doubles up. He's up over that 1 million chip mark. Much needed double up for Satya. There we go. There's our chip count, and Barry and Tiny Martin mark Satya up over 1 million. So we're probably going to be trying to see some moves here from Mike and Tyler. They can only survive, another orbit or two until they're out of chips. So we're going to probably see them make a move in the next orbit or so. You got less than 5 or less big blinds, and it's time to jam, time to push, time to be aggressive, time to gamble, time to shove it all in, and may the poker gods be ever in your favor. Shout out to Brady Zimmerman on the Facebook broadcast. If you are joining us on the YouTube page, even if you're not, you're on Facebook, go to the YouTube page. Do us a favor, like, subscribe the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to be notified of all of our upcoming or whenever we go live next, which will be Saturday, February 12th, and Satya with pocket 5s in the hijack position. He's just going to call. Barry 9-7. Now, if you just call this, you have to be prepared to call a raise, and a sizable raise at that. Calling in this situation can be a little risky. I just saw Patrick Mahomes get smoked in the face with a helmet. So Mark will call in the small blind. Bomber masking his hand, perhaps, if he checks. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a raise, though, to try to get any of the weaker hands out. Big decisions here for the Bomber. Yeah, he's going to raise it up as he should to 400, raise to 400,000. Action over to Satya, just as I said before. He's got to be prepared to call, so he's got 1.2 million in chips, but 100K is 1/12 of your stack. That's really, not that good. So he should have been, I think in that situation, don't even risk it. You either jam, go all in, and put the decision in the other player's hands, or just fold.
Yeah, 100 and 100, sir.
Another shout out to Netta Sylvia. Thank you for coming on to the live stream.
Simple tip. People are complaining about it if you're not from Hawaii.
Liar. Again.
7 folds.
Again.
Seed 8 folds.
Want me to show him my ass? Maybe that'll.
Seed 9
Is it
folds.
tan?
It could be.
Come on, Obama, show us your birth certificate.
I don't carry that around with me.
Barry with 10-9 offsuit's going to fold over to Tiny from Hawaii. Folds.
Hawaii folds.
The Duff will fold over to the Bomber. Looking down at K9.
Seed 4 raises. Actions at 250,000.
So Bomber's going to bomb away for 250,000 in the small blind position. Going to get Martin out of the way, and the Bomber will scoop up Martin's blind in ante. It's a nice little boost into your chip stack, no matter how big or small it is.
Seed 7 excitedly puts in his $200,000 line in.
Shout out to Zach Broughton on the live stream. I don't know if I said Joe Mitchell either, but thanks for tuning in, fellas. We can even take a little poll from the audience, all 111 of you on Facebook, 112 now. Who are you cheering for? Once you hear that, throw it in the comment section. Let's spam the account, huh? Let's maybe try to shut down the live stream with how many people are commenting who they want to win. And going back to last hand, Satya was in with his pocket fours. This table is just so aggressive that calling the big blind is just, it's not going to get you very far. Hoping maybe they check it, the option checks on the big blind. It's either raise or fold. As a tournament does progress from 120, 130 people in the field and early stages all the way down to the final table, the strategy changes a bit. How aggressive you are or are not, that changes. It ebbs and flows as the tournament gets down to less and less people. You can't really be timid. You can't be pussyfooting around. You got to go for it, There's Bomber's box. See, raises to 225,000.
Seat 5, the players raise.
Not even a very strong hand, but he's going to test you. Make sure that if you want to play, you're going to call or you're going to have to raise. And so Martin Short being even more aggressive. Re-raises to 600K, and Mike Merrick will go all in with ace-jack offsuit. Great hand to go all in on.
Good luck, Mike.
370,000 total.
Can't imagine. Well, Bomber might get out of this. Yep, he's going to get out of this, but Martin pretty, well, who was once a chip leader, now not so much.
No, it's all in and call.
Yeah, so we got an all in a call. Mike Merrick's ace-jack versus ace-4.
Jack ace is at risk and slightly in the lead. Good luck, players. Good luck, all in. Good job.
So Mike hoping to double up off of Martin. Our flop comes. Jack, Queen, 3. So Mike will spike his jack on the flop. Needs to avoid a spade on the turn. Oh, no. There's the spade. Got 10 outs for Martin. Will he send Mike home? And an 8 of diamonds on the river. That'll put the check mark next to Mike Merrick's name. He's still alive. He's still free rolling this tournament. So congratulations to Mike on winning a much-needed double-up. And, man, Martin's going to have to be licking his wounds now. He was chip leader. Now he's not. He's in the middle of the pack at this point. So we'll see if Martin can start catching some more cards and make a little comeback. Once again, we're playing for $7,750.
Every one of them.
Welcome to
There's a camera behind you, Tiny.
What do you want me to do?
Taking a picture of your crack.
Seat 9
Stand up
folds.
and
Seat 1 folds.
show them that.
Seat 2
Tab,
folds.
yeah.
Seat 3 folds.
Give him a picture of my better ass. Did I do something?
Yeah, just leave that off.
Once again, we're playing for $7,750. Pretty nice prize pool on the line, and the Bomber will drop a big one, $225,000 with his suited connectors. Mike will get out of the way as well, and that should probably, TK will fold as well, and that'll secure the win for the Bomber.
Play another hand. Kind of like a dance rave around here with the lights going on.
I know.
Yeah, can we get a disco light?
If we get too crazy, though, Tiny might show us his nipples again.
I will do that if you want me to. On stream. On stream. That's all right.
We got 165 players, 165 people watching us, guys.
And they all threw up.
And none of them think that Tiny's from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Is that yours, Mike?
So I think we broke a record here this evening thus far. Thank you guys all for tuning in. 123 of you on Facebook and 41 on YouTube. Thank you guys very much. We do appreciate it. We would appreciate it more, though, if you did like, subscribe, and all the good things that you should do to YouTube channels and Facebook pages. Nikki Smith probably on the road, but they're listening to and watching the broadcast while driving. Thank you guys for tuning in, and great tournament to Nikki. She did cash here from the feature table.
Seat 4 folds. Seat 5 folds. Seat 7 folding. Seat 8 folds.
Barry raises it up to 250,000. Actions on Satya to call. Satya maybe looking to defend his big blind with a call here, but we'll see. %, take your time, Satya.
He's not in calls.
Yep, he'll call. So I think it's a good call, even despite what he has. And, oh, God, this is maybe not so good, but 9, queen, 6, 2 spades. Would hate to see another spade on the turn. That would really put Satya in a world of hurt. Satya does flop a gut shot. Need to see an 8.
What up, Lily? How you doing, girl?
So Satya goes all in here. I didn't even see that till now. He's all in. Barry has decisions to make. Does he want to double Satya up? Does he not? To double up or not to double up? That is the question for Barry.
I'll tell you what, I'll buy a drink around for the table.
Barry counting out the chips, seeing how much he'll have left. Still be fairly sizable, but do you want... I mean, Barry's got ace high right now. If Satya has 9, queen, 6 in his hand, which queen is maybe more likely, you know, all Barry can hope for is an ace or another spade. Looks like he's going to... He's going to think. He's going to sit in the think tank for a while. Leave Barry with $1 million in chips left. It looks like he did say call. He does have a call, so here we're going to flip him over. Ace 3 flush draw, ace high right now for Barry, and 10-7. He's got a gut shot and another flush draw. Of course, if we hit another spade on the turn, that's going to do it for Satya. Turn is a 10. Satya in the lead now, needs to avoid an ace. And there it is, a king. So Satya is going to double up off of Barry. Wow. Incredible hands here.
All right, gentlemen. Hi. Okay. Are you guys thirsty? Tiny's trying around. We're knocking?
So Satya loving that last hand. And hey, baby, that's poker. Turns a 10 in the lead, and wowzers. Barry's still not, he's not down and out. He's maybe a little bit down after that hand. Here we go. Duff waking up with pocket tens. He's all in for 1.2 million. Bomber will get out of the way. Martin folds over to Mike Merrick. He'll fold. TK folds. Been absolutely card dead as of late. See if Satya will play some more. He does have ace-9 offsuit. He'll fold. Not really willing to give chips back to anyone quite yet, so Barry folds, and the Duff will win the blinds and antes. I think that was his big blind. Nope, not yet. That was picked up the blinds and antes to finance another trip around the table. It has been a while. We are still 8-handed. We lost Mike Columbus in 9th place. He took home $640. He was our first and only player eliminated at this final table thus far. Here we see Satya, 2.4 million chips. He is our chip leader. Tyler, 275,000. He's not going to make it another orbit around the table. He's going to have to do something. And hopefully he doesn't get a hand now because the Duff picks up a couple of kings. Bomber, ace-9 suited. He's going to fold. Over to Martin. He's going to fold. Mike, queen-6. He's going to fold. TK is going to fold. Satya, ace-3. He'll fold. We'll see what Barry has cooking for us, and looks like he's gonna make the call. Tiny, 125,000 more to call. He very well might, and he does. So, got a nice sized pot here, 750,000 in chips in the center. Nice span range of hands, and the flop comes 9, 8, deuce, 2 hearts. Mark still in lead with his kings, but Tiny picks up an open ender. Tiny reaching just for an absolute stack of yellows. Gonna raise up to 375,000, 380. Yeah, I couldn't see Mark the Duff doing anything else other than raising or going all in, and we do have an all in and a call, so the Duff's kings versus Tiny's open ender. Don't want to see any more hearts out there, otherwise that will give Mark the win. So Tiny needs a 7 or a queen. There's a 6, not any help to Tiny. 7 or a queen. And the river is a 5. And Tiny's going to double up the Duff. It's going to leave Tiny with 330,000 in chips. And now the Duff man, probably our chip leader. That is a massive double up. Holy cow. So we're going to have, there's the Duff, 3.3 mil in chips. Satya, 2.4 mil, just got off of a nice double up. So now we have 4 players in the red zone, I'm going to call it. Not a football red zone. This is a different red zone. This is bad. This is in the red zone if you're on defense. Not good. Tyler, Tiny, for sure going to need to make some moves. Barry might be able to sit back, but better to do it now or never. And we'll give a couple more shout-outs while we've got all the Matt Jensen absolutely destroys destroys the Duff's chip stack, so he'll have to restack them here. Luckily, Matt has a good rapport with everyone here, so he can maybe get away with being a little bit of a butthole on that. But You know, if I was the Duff, I am not mad about stacking up 3-point-some million in chips. Some more shout-outs. Scott Hagan, thanks for joining in. Matthew Wolf, Carol Borgen, Nathan Larson, Timothy Edward Warren, Stuart Matson, Jeff Johnson, Junior Gons, Srini GM. Welcome all. Wade Kaiser, Brian Murphy. Yeah, Tiny the Flying Hawaiian. Sure is. Wade Kaiser predicting Tiny and Duff will be going at it at the very end, and we'll see. Tiny now very crippled. Man, TK just cannot catch anything worth going all in on. So Satya will fold over to Barry.
T1 goes all in.
Yeah, Barry's now going to go all in. Tiny, he's going to be on the button next hand, so he's already paid his dues on this orbit.
1, 2, 3,
Barry all in with King 9, 635,000 to call.
60. 635,000. 25. 635.
Give a shout out to Playmakers Lounge. Oh, baby.
Mark Duffner has ace king, ace of hearts, king of spades.
So
Yep. Ace of hearts, king of spades for seat 3.
so Duffner will have ace king.
Right about there, guys. I tried to put him on his spot. Yep.
So Mark has ace king. There it is. Ace king versus king 9. Barry's king 9. Barry at risk. His hand is fairly dominated at this point.
Ace in the window.
4 ace 7. That's not good for Mark. Another 8, so does not want to see another heart, but I think he's drawing dead. So, and he is.
Nice one, Barry.
There's a 6 on the river, and Barry, oh man, started from the bottom, went to the top, and now he's at the bottom again. He's out of chips. He's taken home $860 though. Holy crap. Great tournament from Barry. Very enjoyable to watch him. Barry's obviously very gifted. And he's got a very, very long drive across the river to East Grand Forks. But he'll be able to write home about this win. I'm going to call it a win, $860. He's going to be eliminated in 8th place. And the Duff keeps duffing, keeps accumulating chips. 4 million at this point. 4 million in chips. Wow.
Seat 5 folds. Seat 7 folds. Seat 8.
Shout out to Matt Merrick. I'm sure in direct relation to Mike Merrick. He's cheering his brother or son or father or cheering his, some relative on. Maybe it's his distant uncle. Who knows?
375, Mark. They don't care if you're folding. Seat 3 folds.
So Mike and Martin sharing a cheers there. Don't you dare put that beer on the table. All right, good. We'll get them maybe something we can put their drinks on, but there's about $3 million worth of equipment in that table, so we don't want any beer or other liquids to spill on it.
I know, you should have called blind, dude. You're some such a roll. These guys all want to do it.
Where's the sheet for fails? You bet.
The next player out receives $1,050. First place is $7,600.
little different.
It's a little. Did you
When
want
to
to
go?
see the rest?
Merrick?
What's that?
It's a couple MSPT lines.
You want to take a red one back, just let me know. It's just easier that way for me. Seat 7 fold. Seat 8 fold.
I want to know how much of a mid I was.
So
7 folded, 8 folded.
Said I want to know how much of a
Mr. Miracle fold. TK will fold. Oh, man, I want him to catch a card soon. And Satya has 100K to call now. Again, don't call. You have to be aggressive. You have to raise. There we go. That's more like it's Satya. 3, 4.
510,000.
510,000 is the raise. That's what I like to see from you, Satya. We're going to fold around to Martin. And, oh boy. Martin might go all in. Yeah, he does. Here's an all in. Satya's probably going to snap call. If he does. No. Take your time, Satya. Ace-Jack, strong hand, but if you're up against an ace-queen or an ace-king like he is now,
590 more. Yep. Seat 9 calls. All in and call. Let's see him, guys.
we do have an all-in in a call.
Ace King versus Ace Jack.
Ace-king versus ace-jack, and Satya is not happy.
Good luck, all in.
However, he's not at risk to being out. Martin is. There's 10, 8, 6 on the flop. Satya's going to want to catch a jack in order to win, but there's a 5 on the turn in the river. River's another 5, so Martin will double up off of who once was our chip leader. Going to double up off of Satya, and we will just continue going. Another shout out to Gary Royal on the Facebook page and Ryan Kohler. Ryan says it's getting nutty. It sure is. So there's your payouts. Next person to go out, $1,050, all the way up to $7,750 is our top place prize. You're at the Listen Inc. Monster Stack. We're at the Can-Ad Inn. If you want to play in this tournament, way too late. That ship has sailed hours ago, but there's another ship arriving on the horizon about less than a month from now, Saturday, February 12th, Dead Money Open, M&J Saloon, West Fargo. Satellite night, Friday. Single table satellites, and so you can potentially win a seat there if you take down one of those satellites, or play in one of the FPN bar leagues. Free Poker Network has some leagues in town in Fargo, and have a chance to play there. And looks like we have Tyler's going to fold. I did hear that we do have an all-in from Tiny.
All in. 3 folded. 4 folded. 5 folded. 7 folded.
Fold around to Mike, and I think Tiny will take home the blinds and annies.
75.
Just in the nick of time, too. Blinds did go up in less than a minute. They will be up after this hand. Tiny taking home blinds and annies, much needed financing of the next orbit. He'll be in the big blind in 2 hands.
Attention players. It's time for a 10-minute break.
So we're going to take a 10-minute break after this hand. Sometimes crazy things happened right before break. Sometimes they don't, but Tiny's going all in again. This is him just being aggressive. He's going to make sure, if you're going to call, you're going to have an absolutely premium hand. No one wants to bust right before break. But here we might see Tyler calling, which will put him at risk. So Tyler's been card dead for the entire time at this table, so I cannot imagine him getting away from this. And he does have Tiny absolutely dominated if he does.
I believe I have 550.
You got a big hand?
Tyler, now's your time. This is his first final table of 2022. We're honored to have it here at the Dakota. There it is. There's a call. Tyler could double up off of Tiny. Tyler wants to avoid a 4 and a bunch of diamonds.
If I lose this hand, I'm forfeit.
Tyler's hoping maybe just to get it out of the way and flop an ace. That would be nice. Flop comes 4, 7, 3. Tiny hits a 4. Tyler's tournament life is at risk. He needs to hit an ace and an ace only. That's not going to do it. 2 aces left in the deck. Can he spike it on the river? And it's another 4. Tiny eliminates Tyler Colness of Hendrum, Minnesota, from the Listening Monster Stack. He's going to go out in 7th place. That'll be worth $1,050. Tyler's first final table of 2022, and really not a bad, not a bad win. $1,050. Tyler putting in the time yesterday and today to make it to the final table, so well worth the time investment. And we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back. When we're back, we'll maybe see the conclusion of our Listening Monster Stack. Who's going to take home $7,750? Will it be one of the last remaining 6 people at the table? 7 people. We'll find out when we return. we're going to go ahead and get them started right away. So right before the break, Tyler Kolness out in 8th place, taking home, or 7th place. Yeah, 7th. I was trying to see on my sheet of paper, I was trying to track it, but we're right. He's out in 7th place, $1,050.
Good luck.
All right, so yeah, as I said, we're back. We're just confirming a couple things with dead button, et cetera, et cetera. So, Tiny from Hawaii, seat 2. Seat 3, Mark Duffner of Crookston. Chris Bommersbach of Grafton. Martin Short, Grand Forks, seat 5. Seat 7, Mike Merrick, East Grand Forks. And Satya Vegi of West Fargo. Next person to go out, it's going to take home $1,300. Top place prize here, yet again, $7,750. I think you could buy a new refrigerator with that if you need one.
Seat 5 raises to 400,000. Seat 7.
And shout out to Cindy Hein Schroeder for tuning in, one of our beloved dealers. And it looks like we have an all-in right away. I have not been paying attention. So Martin Short must have raised it up. Mike Merrick going all in for $725,000 with those jiggities. Oh, baby.
All in call.
We do have an all-in and a call, so Mike Merrick with pocket jacks, Martin Short with king 10. Mike Merrick at risk of being knocked out. Martin would still have a fairly sizable, probably average chip stack. And we'll go ahead and see a flop. Flop comes 3-2 ace, no help to Martin. Mike's still alive. Mike wants to avoid a king and a king only. There is 2 of them. 8-9 on the turn, and the river is a queen. It was a face card. That's what everyone was oohing about. But Mike Merrick stays alive, doubles up off of Martin Short. And I was just talking with Martin at the break. I thought maybe he was wearing some kind of a poker sweatshirt. Turns out it is a sweatshirt signifying that he won or earned. I'm going to say earned. He ran the 100-mile Superior. I don't even know what it's not even a marathon. That's like 400 marathons in one. But Mike Short runs, folks, and he's done a number of 100 miles. And he said his running journey started a while ago, and he basically just runs. He loves to run, and he's running good right now in poker. So Mike Short, not just a gifted poker player, but also a gifted runner. Said he ran in the Boston Marathon. He started out with 5Ks and thought, well, if I'm running 5K, might as well go 10. Ran 10Ks really easily, but we're going to pause that because here we see Martin raises it up to $350,000. Action on the Duff to call. Meanwhile, the Buffalo-Kansas City game is pretty gnarly. Buffalo just scored, and we're going to have an all-in from Martin. $1.3 million to call our chip leader, Mark Duffner. So does Mark Duffner want to potentially double someone up.
1.185.
You know, Martin having so many in chips. Really, if you go all in with that much, you got to expect him to have a fairly strong hand. Obviously, as we know at home, he does. He is the best pre-flop hand, and he'll fold. So Martin, not a chance for his aces to be cracked. Blake Shapansky to shout out. Wants to give a shout out to Chris Bommersbach, one of our players at the table. And as we're talking, Kansas City, is that Tyreek Hill? Yeah, breaks one loose for a touchdown to take the lead over Buffalo with 1:02 left. It'll be 33 after the field goal to 29. Holy cow. We've got fireworks everywhere, people. So here, the Bomber, 150 to call it as the big blind. Blind's been up 75,000, 150,000, and a big blind ante of 150,000. So it's getting very expensive to play if you're a short stack.
Yeah, no, we're waiting for you. We're waiting for you. Yeah. I did not know when he folded.
I didn't see him fold either.
No.
And he was playing those chips like he was going to
Yep.
move him in.
He's having a really big thought.
And I was excited because the guy before was all in,
P4 plays all in.
and I was like, oh, he's going to go in too?
So the Bomber's going to drop some bombs and go all in. Martin a fold. Michael fold. Satya will look down at Jack 3 and fold. Tiny will fold. And over to the Duff. He'll fold as well. And Bomber will take home blinds and antes. So now things were heating up in the Facebook chat. Bunch of fans on Tiny from Hawaii. And we've got the Hawaiian Heater. Brian Murphy says he's the Hawaiian Punch. And Peter and John Marie Wagner believe Tiny is Tiny Bubbles.
P5 folds. P7 folds. C9 declares all in. Messily. C2 declares all in. C3 folds. 9 went all in, yes.
So Satya is all in with pocket twos. We have
C2 went all in.
Tiny going all in again.
Ace Queen versus 2.
So we have Ace Queen versus Deuces.
This is very, very close in chips. For the players.
It's extremely close in chips between these two players, so not even sure who's at risk here. Flop comes 9-8-3. Deuce is still ahead. Needs to avoid an ace or a queen, a 9. Well, that's going to give Tiny more outs. Ace, queen, 3 or 8. It's going to get counterfeited maybe. It's a 7 on the river. And the graphics do say that Tiny is eliminated. We're going to confirm. We're going to confirm.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Should Tiny actually be eliminated here, he'll take home $1,300. That'll be just enough to fill up the private jet with some fuel, make it back to Hawaii. Hopefully Hawaii doesn't run into any bad weather up here at the Grand Forks Air Force Base. And that will do it, confirmed by our dealer Matt Jensen. Tiny eliminated in 6th place, taking home $1,300. Not a bad win for Tiny. Obviously, he was gunning for the 77.50 up top, but Tiny, always a force to be reckoned with here at the Dakota Poker Tour. Next person to go out in 5th place will win $1,650.
10-4 beats King 10, Ace 10. Don't your Ace Queen isn't going to be 2-2. Oh. Oh my goodness, you got it. Big one.
It's a 4-point game. I mean, it was a slow first half. I figured, well, can't be a defensive.
150 to go, Mr. Mayor. Seat 7 full.
They need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, and meanwhile, we still have poker going on. We're just moving some cameras around, and Satya will look down at Queen 7 offsuit.
That's almost offensive pass in here. Whoop. That was a hard look.
Action over to Mark Duffner. He'll throw those away over to the Bomber. 5-4 offsuit in the small blind.
I love Tony Romo. He's a good analyst.
Interesting. He's looking for this on his play,
Yeah,
and
you
it's
know,
like,
that's what I like about it.
exactly what happens to it.
He's a pretty cerebral player.
Oh, yeah.
That's a flag.
Drop the damn clock.
Go to 375 from seat 4.
So the Bomber will raise it up to $375,000 into Martin Short. Looking down at pocket fives. I can see him jamming here.
5.
Yep, there it is, all in. Which I don't think the Bomber is really going to want to have anything to. Goodness gracious. Buffalo just scored a touchdown to get ahead of Kansas City with 13 seconds left. Incredible. So Martin Short will win on the jam there. He'll take that all back. So, yeah, there we are. That's us.
Mike, big one?
At the point, I had king high. I had a super king.
Yep.
I would have flushed. We would have knocked it.
Yeah. God, they played this one, that did.
You're right. Yeah. Hindsight is 20/20, I guess.
Satya looking down at 10-9 offsuit will fold. Action over to the Duff, over to the Bomber. 8-7 little suited connectors there. Man, insane football game over there, Buffalo and Kansas City. Like 3 touchdowns scored in the last minute of the game. Like, are you kidding me? But meanwhile, Bombers going all in for about $810,000.
He didn't have anything in, so that's just the total.
So the Bombers all in.
Subtracting 150 off, right? 6 something. That's what I was.
Actions on Martin. He's going to fold. Action over to Mike Merrick, looking down at pocket fives. It's going to be about half his chips to call. Looks like he is sizing it up. If Patrick Mahomes somehow pulls off a win here, I'm going home. Mike Merrick counting up the chips. It looks like he does intend to call here. Chance to eliminate the Bomber in 5th place. You know, the beauty of poker is sometimes it's just time to gamble. Best you can ask for is a coin flip, and that's what we're looking at here is Mike Merrick's pocket fives versus the Bombers 8-7 suited. Mike's not going to want to see diamonds. Bomber will definitely want to see diamonds. And there's deuce ace 9 on the flop. He needs an 8 or a 7. 8 or a 7. There's a king on the turn. Still needs an 8 or a 7. Otherwise, the Bomber will be eliminated. And a 6 on the river. Close, but no cigar. Mike Merrick eliminating Chris Bommersbach of Grafton, North Dakota in 5th place. The Bomber will be taking home $1,650. Congratulations to the Bomber. There he is. We're going to call it, yeah, no one's there, so. Yeah.
Once you turn like 68 years old, like Tim Rasmussen, then I'll leave your chips down. Well, you're not Tim Rasmussen.
I know, I'm better.
So 4 players remain. Next person to be eliminated, $2,350. We're getting up there all the way to the first place prize, $7,750. You're watching live coverage of the Listen Inc. Monster Stack here at the Can-Ad Inn Playmakers Lounge up in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I want to thank you all for tuning in thus far. Thanks for sticking with us through the last break.
Now that everyone's loosening up a little bit, I guess.
Had some nice little fireworks going on in the final table in the last 30 minutes or so. So Duffel fold. Action on Martin. You can definitely see four-handed now. A good range of cards to play. Opens up quite a bit more than even 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players, obviously. But Martin Short will raise to $400K. And while Martin pulls that in, Kansas City unbelievably has a chance to tie Buffalo. This might be for sure the game of the year, perhaps of the last half century or century. I don't know what's crazier, Tom Brady's comeback against Atlanta or the absolute shootout we're seeing between Buffalo and Kansas City. So, well, we can't put that on there. Kansas City's kick is good, and they've tied it up. My God.
Unreal. This is the game of the century.
Meanwhile, on our final table, not a whole lot going on.
Martin, you're going to knock over your own chips.
I'm excited.
If I give you walk, next time you give me walk.
Oh, here we go. Now we're bargaining. He's already buying you a drink.
Yeah, he's going to give me a drink chip, yeah.
I'll take Coke.
I'll at least call him. Yeah, at least make him pay.
Yeah.
He distressed you. Did he apologize? Probably not. He didn't even apologize.
Not only yesterday.
That was a nice flop for that.
Fargo tournament too.
Yeah.
A lot of juice.
Boy, you got a lot of.
Yeah, but you're in 99% of the hand. I play like 1%.
Whoa, now I got this
I think that might be a little bit of an
This is
underestimation.
poker and I'm pussy. Love a little bit.
About 1%. Only about 1%.
So if you want to get on our feature table and final table here at the Dakota Poker Tour, all you got to do is sign up for our next tournament, and you'll have a chance to come on out and be next DPT Season XI champion. So Saturday, February 12th at the M&J Saloon in West Fargo is your next opportunity to earn some points on the Dakota Poker Tour.
Yeah, they were the right ones.
So Mike Merrick,
2-9 calls.
You're on my Christmas card list now.
looks like he did fold.
And you're moving up. I'm not going to give you number 1 right now because then you're going to slap.
Mark Duffner wakes up to pocket aces. Oh, baby. I don't imagine he's just going to call here. He's definitely going to raise it up. 600,000. Martin Short looking down at a couple of fives. Definitely not good enough, really, to do anything with this. Can't imagine Martin or Satya will stick around for this hand. If Martin would call, we would have both of our larger stacks at the table going at it. With 2.7 million in your chip stack, 450 to call, might almost be worth it to call it. You do have the finances to see if you can maybe spike a set of trips or just a set on the flop. That might be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, Martin will fold and Satya.
Now you're playing 99% of hand.
Yep, he's going to fold, so we don't get to see much happen with those aces, but the Duff is certainly happy. Certainly happy to be pulling chips his way. Give a little shout out to Bill Habeck. Says, let's go Merrick. So, Mike Merrick fan over there.
C3 raises to 350.
So Mark Duffner will raise it up with ace-7. Over to Mike Merrick. 6-2 will fold. And that'll be a whole lot of nothing on that hand. Duffner scooping up blinds and addies. Rocking the junkyard hat. Shout out to arguably the best brewery in the Midwest.
I don't think he trusts us. I don't think he trusts us. I'm just guessing.
Getting that impression. Here's your beers, gentlemen.
Hey!
Not on the table.
Not on the table.
Someone earlier was wondering where the beer was, and here we are. We got a couple players. The Duff Man loading up on a Coors Light bottle. Martin Short loading up on another 37-ounce beer. So here, Martin Short looks like he's going to raise it up to 400,000. Michael fold almost immediately. Satya looking down at 4 deuce. He's most likely going to fold as well. Satya wants to play so bad, but
Throws the respect of the 4 high.
Two deuces. No, it's a dirty diaper.
can't do that with 4 deuce. And the Buffalo Bills are going to have to step it up on defense if they want a chance to win this. Big play from Patrick Mahomes to Mr. Kelsey.
The other team's got to at least have a chance to possess the ball. Yeah. I mean, that's. I know they changed the rule, but they changed it wrong.
C5 folds. C7.
All right, so Martin a fold, Michael fold, Satya look down at that hand, and he will also fold into Duffner's King 9, which, oh well, no harm, no foul. All these players have enough to finance a few blinds or a few orbits around the table. Satya is our short stack with 1.2 million. He's the only one in the 1 million range. Everyone else is 2 million or more. Looks like Kansas City just got in a field goal range, and that's not good for Buffalo Bills fans. And we'll probably see Mike fold here. Wouldn't be surprised one bit. Mike yelling at the cards to be better. Satya's going to go all in. Oh, man, and he's going to get called by the Duff. Martin most likely will get out of the way here.
Doesn't even care. C5 folds. All in and call.
So we have an all-in and a call. Satya Vegi versus Mark Duffner. Duffner with ace-queen versus Satya's ace-4 suited. Satya fairly dominated. Does have a live card and 2 hearts, so Satya is definitely going to see hearts, and he doesn't see it. There's a 9-queen jack. Mark hits the queen. He's going to need runner 4. Oh, picks up a chop pot draw. Needs a 10. Needs a 10. And it's a 5. Satya Vegi eliminated in 4th place. He's taking home $2,350. Congratulations to Satya on a very nice run here at the Listen Inc. Monster Stack in Grand Forks, North Dakota. We are at the Playmakers Lounge on the 2nd floor in the Canad Inn.
Big blind, Mr. Merrick. I'm going to move this over here now.
So Satya Vegi. Nice little chunk of change. He's definitely happy to bring home more than $2K, investing 2 days worth of time into this tournament, maybe even 3 if he played on Friday for our Super Satellite.
I let you guys play poker.
Travis Kelce wins it for Kansas City with a touchdown in the end zone. I don't know where else you would score a touchdown, but that's where he did it.
I just don't agree with that. Touchdown just ends the game.
4 total. C5 raises to 400,000.
Martin raises it up to 400,000. Mike Merrick will call.
Action to the flop.
I found another winner.
I'm still sitting up here.
You're still alive.
All right, so, oh my God, Martin flops a set. So Martin will either check or bet here. Man, I'd almost want to see a check.
C5 bets 200.
But he's going to go ahead and fire away. Nice size bet of 200,000. If maybe he's hoping he, who knows, caught something out of there. But Michael folded right away. Or, no, he will not fold. He's going to re-raise. This is not good, folks.
500,000 is the
Mike re-raises to 500,000. Martin 300K to fold. He's gonna do some acting here, hopefully to.
No, they were. No, wait, they went back to 0. I think they were a favorite, and then I think it's picked.
I can see Martin going all in and jamming here, which is probably your best bet. You can see him flatting. But with that flush draw out there, man, Martin just, what if Mike is betting a flush draw? You know, that wouldn't be so good if he caught it. He does not want to give Mike another card here. He wants to put all the decisions in Mike's hands, but he's going to just call. Very strong. Martin does have trips, and not just that, but the best trips you can have. There's an 8 of spades. Martin's going to check. Mike goes all in.
1.3. And call.
Martin's going to call. Mike with Queen Jack, absolutely nothing versus Martin's aces, and there it is. Mike Merrick eliminated in third place. He's taking home $3,200. So we got a battle of the M's coming up for you. But holy cow, Mike Merrick, great tournament. You got a lot of fans and friends and family cheering for you. And Martin Short, massive chip stack against the Duff. Holy cow, that was some fireworks there. Mike was just really trying to test Martin. Wasn't quite sure if he had anything. There's no way he spikes trips, you know, but that's what he had, and dang.
Chips and play. More than that, bro.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got half.
Okay, there is no big blind, Annie. Heads up, it goes away. Got that?
Heard it?
Heard it?
They told me to wait, so I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, how much? What is there in chips and play? I'm just trying to figure out what you have.
I had. You know what? I had close to 3. 2.5.
So we might
5.1
potentially pause. We're not sure.
is the average.
We're going to maybe count chips, make sure they're all good.
10 million chips and play.
Make sure everything Gucci. And then we'll see some heads-up action between Mark and Martin. Goodness gracious, thank you to this guy over here, Mr. Goose. He's been driving the train. I've just been talking. So there we are. Here we can see all the chips Martin has to stack up.
People hate paying taxes, man.
Oh, I know.
Oh, baby. And we're back. Look at that. As promised, we're bringing out the $1 million, we're going to call it dollar chip. The plaques, they're out. So we have heads up action. Sorry for the short delay, but here we are. Heads up, Mark Duffner versus Martin Short. Winner takes home $7,750. Who is going to be and Dana will be delivering the plaques to the players. As promised, we did have to run back to Fargo to grab them. We forgot them, but through time travel, we were able to get them quickly. And here we are. So this is historical. We had the most number of views combined on Facebook and YouTube. And we also are breaking out. We're also breaking out the $1 million chip plaque for the first time in Dakota Poker Tour history. Second place will take home $4,900. I'm sure there's a lot you could do with both of those prize winnings. So there's a few different ways that these final tables go. Players could either be super aggressive and just want to get it all in right away and get it over with. Sometimes it takes a while. They grind it out. So Mark will raise to 350K. Martin will call. Flop comes 285. So the Duff spikes his 5.
$300,000 is bet by C5. C3 calls.
And we'll call. So the bet was 300K by Martin Short on the flop. Mark called. Queen comes on the turn. Mark just hit 2 pair. He's not going. Well, if Martin prices this up to look like he has the flush, Mark very well might, but it's got to be a really nice size.
C5, that's 400.
So that's 400,000 from Martin is the bet over to Mark. He's probably going to jam all in here.
Attention players. This level will end in 1 minute.
Mark sitting in the think tank.
C3 goes all in.
And he's all in. I predicted the future on this one. Martin Short has absolutely nothing and will fold as expected. So the Duff going in has now a massive chip lead. So there's our chip count. Mike Duffner, 6.8 million to Martin Short's 3.6. Just under half chip stack.
Attention players. The blinds have changed. The small blind is 100,000 and the big blind is 200,000. And the ante is
Yeah, there's still something
200,000.
150 this end.
Blinds just went up 100,000. Next hand to 100,000 from the small, 200 to the big. No ante anymore. Martin will raise it up to 375,000. The Duff will call. Oh, king, ace, king. It's a very crazy flop. But the Duff will check. Martin, fairly confident that he does not have an ace or king. We'll bet 400K and the Duff will fold. So Mike Merrick, yet again, my God, what a story. Mike free rolled into this tournament, and he came away with $3,200. So Mike Merrick, 100% profit. That's how you do it. Incredible story. Great performance by Mike Merrick and by all of our competitors here, the players. So want to put a big congratulations out, and whoever takes home first or second here. And just a great all-around tournament. That's the one thing that I am fascinated maybe the most on with poker is the endurance it does take to run deep in these big tournaments. You know, even 2 days, that's especially, it's a lot of sitting and looking at cards. Here we'll see 6 ace 5 on the flop. Martin's going to fire away first for 300K. Mark does have a 6. So he's going to call the 300,000. Turn comes another 6. Oh, Martin. Oh, Martin. Do not say all in. Don't do it. Don't even reach for chips. Check. Won't matter. He's just going to get chunked and chunked and chunked. I don't think the Duff is going anywhere. He's going to jam all in here. I'm willing to put $7,750 on it. Well, I lost $7,750. And the Duff gets just Duffer. Queen on the river. Full house. Martin's got. Yeah, it's a good check from Martin. Duff is probably going to go all in here. There's no reason not to. Unless he thinks he has an ace. Okay, so we have a nice value bet here, and that's going to scare Martin Short away. So, again, speaking of endurance, Martin not only has endurance to be sitting at a poker table for 2 days straight. I don't know if he played on Friday, too, so it could be potentially 3 days playing poker. But, again, Martin, the shirt he's wearing there, the Superior 100-mile super race, I'm going to call it. Martin is an endurance runner. Done multiple 100-mile races. This one was all up and down the Superior Coast. Actually was just up one way. It's 100 miles zigzagging through the mountains of the North Shore. So Martin said that experience was awful. It was raining and just bad weather. He said he really regretted running that one, but when you're done running 100 miles, and it took him 32 hours to complete. So he ran or walked for more than a day straight. I can't even be up for 24 hours without screwing up my entire week. Martin Short does that in his sleep. So the Duff will raise it up to 450,000. Martin a fold.
Big blind?
I'm like counting on them now. I don't have big stacks of chips.
Can't shuffle those flats either. That's the worst part.
Martin Short, 100K to call.
5 raises to 500,000.
Martin will raise to 500,000. The Duff will throw his cards in. So basically when it comes down to the final two, the final hand, or in order for these players to go all in, it does take kind of a perfect storm where both players have
Drag out for the next 5.
halfway decent hand and one player is obviously just going to have a little bit better.
You guys don't have to work tomorrow, do you?
Yeah. Really? Where at? Oh, nice. I teach PRC. Math, got stats, algebra.
So Mark will be first to act,
Stats, calculus.
looking down at 10-5 offsuit.
You called ahead of time if you want to, yeah.
He'll call and Martin will
Call pre-flop. I knew I was going to call. I knew I had a call in here.
won't be surprised at a raise here or an all in, but he's going to raise it up to 600,000.
In the dark.
Duff will fold. So Martin defending his big blind and stealing small blind from the Duff, which doesn't really do much to the Duff. He's got plenty of chips in front of him. Martin has right around the 3.1 million in chips. Duff's got over 7.
The lecture's kind of online and stuff. Kind of glorified students.
C5 calls.
Martin will call in the small blind.
Oh, wow.
Duffner checks. We'll see a flop. Flop comes 4-7-5. So Martin hits his 5.
That's 200.
He's going to bet 200,000. And Mark will fold. Sometimes these heads up action might take an hour. Sometimes it's over before you know it though.
You gonna call in the dark again, Mark?
Yeah, it might.
Doesn't take much. A lot of times heads up just comes down to a coin flip. So the Duff, 100K to call. Looks like he's sizing up a raise to 450,000. Martin sees garbage in his hands and he'll fold. So on that same topic of endurance, you can see our dealer here, Matt Jensen, been dealing our final table all the way through and all weekend, really, yesterday and today, and I think even a little bit on Friday. So fingers get tired shuffling cards, especially heads up is one every, probably averages a new hand shuffling every minute and a half. And the cards we're using a little bit stiffer than your average card. So hats off to Matt Jensen's finger endurance.
Action is at 800,000. C5 folds.
So Mark raised it up to 800,000 and Martin folded. So if Martin had a halfway decent hand or maybe a medium to high pocket pair, definitely would have called or went all in there. Duffner 100K to call. He's going to raise it up again to 450,000. Martin will pause. He might go all in here.
C5
Raises to 1.2 million.
C3 folds.
And Mark folds. Yeah, ace-4, maybe not the best to commit $1 million into the pot with, but Martin had enough of being bullied by the duff, so raised it up and must have felt pretty good throwing in a plaque, and that's $1 million. Martin in the small blind will fold. And here we are again.
Should we drop down to 12 viewers yet, guys? Yeah.
Shout out to a couple people in the Facebook chat. Eric Halterstrom, good friend from back in the My Baseball days. April Baumgarten, one of our dealers. Thanks, April, for tuning in. Chris Harris, thanks for watching. And Taryn Gordon.
5 raises to 400. C3 calls. We've got heads up action for the flop.
All right, so Martin raised it up to 400K. Mark called. Ace 3-4. Martin flops an open-ender.
C5 check.
Martin checks. Mark checks. Another ace.
C5 bets. 4.
Martin bets 400,000. The duff reaching for chips. He'll call. This could be the dynamite hand we're looking for. And a king on the river will give Martin the check mark. I think he's got to go all in here.
C5 checks. C3 checks.
And we'll check on the river, and Martin will have the check mark next to his name. He'll pull in a nice size pot, $1.6 million. Fake money, of course, but what they're winning is real money. Nowhere near the $1 million mark. First place, $7,750. Second place, $4,900. For more Dakota Poker Tour action, we do have our next tournament coming up Saturday, February 12th, M&J Saloon, Friday night satellites. We can play at the FPN Bar League that week for another chance to win a free seat. So here we see Martin calling 100K, Mark checking, and we have 9, 5, 10 on the flop. Martin catching, bottom pair.
C3 bets 200.
Mark will check or bet 200. Martin calls. Another 5 on the turn. We're gonna check in 200,000.
C3 folds.
And a fold from the duff.
Ready for when it turns to 3. Throw it on 20 minutes. You're gonna go that long? No,
I was thinking we're going to be done on one of the first hands there. But then I realized, oh shit, we got chips there too.
C3 calls.
Mark will call in the small blind to
700.
Martin raising it up to 700,000.
C3 folds.
Mark will fold. One of these times, those big raises are gonna get caught. That did not happen this hand, so
I hate to tell you guys this, but
we
there
continue.
is a strong dealer when you're dealing heads up.
Take a quick moment to thank our sponsors, Posh Hair Salon, which they do a lot more than just hair. Full service salon, Randy's Diner, Tax Lady, it is tax season. Heavenly Hog, Listen Center, Listen Inc., that is the sponsoring charity of the evening.
C5 raises.
Martin will raise it up to 600,000.
C3 calls.
Heads up, normally if you see a high card, you're probably good. So, Jack 4 versus 10, 8. Flop comes king, ace, ace. My goodness. Martin will bet 200K. Mark will fold. So Martin slowly chipping away. And we're damn near even. 5.2 versus 5.3 million in chips. Wow. So Martin just barely clawing away at the Duff, and Duff just keeps giving him chips. Very interesting hand here. Or heads up play, rather. So the Duff looking down at a good hand. He's going to raise it up to 500,000. Martin will call too with a couple more diamonds, so hopefully no diamonds come on the flop. It's going to turn out to be a pretty nasty hand. So there's 7, 10, 7. No help to either player. Martin will check. Mark checks 4 on the turn. We're going to check and Martin will bet 400,000 and a call from the Duff, and not the fireworks we necessarily wanted, but hey, Duff is pulling some more chips his way. You'll see a little bit of a chess match here, maybe. Who's going to blunder their queen and take it down? Welcome back to the stream, Ryan Kohler.
But I do know is and was.
It was here. Yeah, you can't win if you don't have beer in your hand, right? Isn't that what you established earlier?
Alright, all is right, bro. You're in trouble, Mark. Sorry.
What's that?
You're in trouble, sorry. Not this hand.
C5.
Martin will fold his garbage hand,
I think I had slightly worse.
and we'll see Mike's almost equally as garbaged hand.
They weren't suited.
We're now coming down to the 9.5 hour mark that these players have been going at it today. Not to mention I think it was 9 hours yesterday, maybe 10. So 18 to 19 hours in to this poker tournament. We are down to final 2. The Duff raises to 500,000. Martin gonna re-raise to 1.5. Maybe 1.4. Yeah, it's 1.5 and the Duff will call. So now we have a nice size putt here. 3 million in the pot. 6-3-10 comes the flop. So Martin's 2s are no longer good, but the Duff spikes a 6 on the flop.
You're not from Washington, are you? Neither am I.
I'm not from Wahpeton. First
So we'll see Martin going all in. Martin with, or Mark with middle pair. Does he want to?
All in and call.
And a call. Oh my goodness, folks. Sorry to scare you, maybe. All in and a call. We got pocket 2s versus ace 6. Mark's. The Duff has a 6. Martin is at risk here. He needs to spike a 2 and a 2 only, or a heart. He's now got 14 outs.
Or a 5. I mean, let's open the whole world.
Heart 5-2.
It's a king, or it's a king of hearts. Martin rivers. He's a rat. He rivers a heart to stay alive. Doubles up of the Duff. And he's going to be severely crippling the Duff. Maybe. We'll see how many he had in chips.
2.9 million total.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and see the graphics here. So we're continuing here. Mark Duffner left with about 9 big blinds. Martin Short.
9 of them.
My oh my, how the tables have turned.
Yep.
Martin Short 8.5 million in chips. The Duff 1.9 million. Regardless of who wins, we're going to have a new DPT
Button was here, button was
champion.
here. Beer in the hand.
That was my point about making the tee up the rope. You never know.
That's the first time I've sucked out in this tournament.
Martin just admitted he sucked out.
It's the best time to do it. That's
That was way good.
There's a rough run out there.
Oh,
C5, C3 goes all in.
Oh, and before Martin even has a chance to look at his cards,
I'm tilted.
Duff's all in. He's all in out of turn. I don't know if that's legal.
C5 folds.
Yep, he was all in out of turn. Not a big deal because Martin just
After a few
folds.
changes, don't see Mark act out of turn very often.
when you do.
We're going to see
Oh, now he's like, I can shuffle 5 of these. That ain't bad.
we're gonna see Martin try to shuffle those million plaques.
You know I say your
There's a
name,
nice
Mike.
little shuffle there. See if you can do it the long way. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Alright, so I get a shove right away here.
Oh, Mark. I got a couple.
He just doubled up.
Just doubled out.
C3 calls.
Shove isn't good. Chance for that.
So Duffner calls the small blind. Martin will look down and
Having trouble finding
Good luck. I get to sub the next 3 days. Goody, goody.
he'll check. So
C5
we'll
check.
see a flop
Heads up
here.
action for the flop.
So we got Mark Duffner of Crookston versus Martin Short of
C5 checks.
Grand
C3
Forks.
checks.
We're going to check the flop. The turn comes a queen. Duff does get his queen, but Martin's going to bet 500K.
C3 calls.
Martin calls. Or Mark calls. So the flush gets there. If
C5
there is
check. C3
one at
check.
risk, Martin checks. Mark bets. Martin folds. Mark wins.
Try not to jam here. Free flop.
Get a nice close up of those
I only care if it's out of turn.
hands of Matt Jensen, our dealer. Gonna have a little flop cam action for you.
Well, I think I was going to get beat there. So I sense that.
C5
Martin will
calls.
call.
C3 checks. Who's got heads
Action
up
on
action for the flop?
Mark. He'll check. We'll see a flop. Flop comes at 5-9 deuce.
C3 checks. C5 bets
So both players
400,000.
hit a 9.
C3
We
raises
have a check and a bet from Martin, 400,000.
to
The
900,000.
Duff re-raises to 9,000.
C5 goes all in. C3 calls.
We have an all-in and a call.
Oh, wow.
The Duff is all in.
8-9
Martin
versus
calls.
9-10.
10-9 versus
Good luck,
9-8.
players. Good luck all in.
The Duff is at risk. There's a 2, 22 outs, about half the deck. Goodness gracious.
Oh.
And that's one of them. That's a chop pot, I believe, is what that comes down to.
Strangely enough, there's a perfect amount of chips
So
in that
we
splitting
almost had fireworks. Instead, duds. We'll get our money back from that.
but you did marry one.
I did marry one.
I can figure this out.
So Ryan Kohler commenting, Martin hanging around, one big all-in, flips the table. Little does he know now. That's exactly what has happened. Again, they're 15 minutes in the past. You guys are watching on a 15-minute delay. Duffner will call. Short will
C5
bet $1
raises
million.
1.2 million. C3 goes all in.
Been all in by the Duff. And a call from Martin. We got Kings versus Ace 8.
King is
The
at risk.
Duff at risk.
Good luck, players. Good luck, all in.
Martin.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good, really.
There's a king on the top. 9-9. He flops a full house. Heart, heart. Now it's a 4. That's going to do it for the Duff. He's going to double up off of Martin Short. And, folks, we have more poker to be played. These two players just flippity-floppiting all over the room here. Can't even keep track of where they're at.
Those are hands?
You're calling here. You're calling here. You're not giving away. Whatever you got, you're calling.
You got 2 boats there.
2.575.
Wish my queens worked out that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Well, you knew that.
Yes, a black. Oh, you get, yeah.
Now you're back to
Thanks, Matt.
5.6 million, Nick Mark.
What even again?
I thought you were lower than that.
No. When you double up.
2.75 million was his all in.
2.75? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Look at me, just moving chips around again.
I need that ace not to come when we had the 9s in there.
Yeah, let's put as good a flop as we can.
C5 raises to 600,000. C3 calls. Almost faster than C5 gets mine.
So these players are now opening up a little bit more, betting a little bit more, calling a little bit more. 7, 9, 10 on the flop. Martin in the lead. There's an ace on the turn.
C5 bets 500,000.
Martin does have a straight draw.
C3 folds.
Martin bets 500K. The Duff folds.
Now who's playing 99% of the hand?
Shout out to Alan Troy. Said he had a blast at the tournament.
No, you got 2 out of him, though.
Another one of those people with 2 first names.
Yeah, 1%. I don't think he got some food and then he folded. That's the only time I saw him fold.
I think you're right. Sometimes he came out ahead, sometimes not so much. He was so up and down the entire time.
C3 raises to 500.
Duff will raise it up to 500K.
C5 calls.
Martin will call. We got a couple of garbage hands. This would be great. Some crazy stuff happened on the flop. King Jack 3 is your flop. Martin first to act.
C5 bets 500,000.
Bets 500,000, reaching for the smallest denomination. Make sure the pot looks extra big when it actually doesn't. So, Martin Short will win that.
What happened to Heidi? How'd she get bounced?
Martin pulling ahead with 6 million in chips. The Duff has 4.3 mil.
Decent chips, I think.
Yeah, when I started doing the table, she had just over 30K. And she got up to probably 50, 60, and then things just went nowhere.
It's really just a matter of when we'll catch those 2 hands that catch a little something on the flop.
Raises to 600,000. C3 calls.
Flop comes 10, queen, ace. Martin pairs his 10. Mark didn't catch any part of that flop. Shout out to our bartender downstairs. He's been running up and down all day long, yesterday and today, making sure our players are well lubed to play poker.
That's why I'm on this side of the table.
Mark will bet 600K and Martin will fold, knowing he had bottom pair.
Oh, dead money?
But it's just the thing, when you're playing heads up, oftentimes if you pair on the board, you already have the better hand. Obviously, there's no way for them that are playing to know that. We know that because we're watching it happen. We can see the whole cards.
I don't know. What's the plan is for the,
You're a man of your word.
that's the fourth.
So we'll see Martin getting out of the way of that hand, even though he had the best hand. But one of these times, one of those players are going to get caught with their hand in the cookie jar.
And then Beckish Dickinson, 'cause we're celebrating.
Duffner, 100K to call.
Team Dickinson.
I think he does call.
Seed 5 raises to 700,000.
7 now. Just keeps doing like 6.
Seed 3 folds.
So Martin raised it up to 500,000, and
One time you can let me,
Mark will fold.
once you let me walk once, then, you know, you can talk.
Yeah, DPT did pay
Single.
on my birthday.
Oh, wild one.
Well,
The wild, wild one.
Seed 3 is getting a little ridiculous with his chip handling.
Cut 'em off.
Again?
Give him a small warning. May have an orbit here in the future.
Got another MSUM
Win, there you go.
Dragon,
Back.
baseball Dragon team
Seed 5
member
raises to
watching.
600,000.
Jordan Cody Hughes. Call him Georgia because he's from there. Thanks for tuning in.
Much more control with his chips this time.
All right, so we had a raise to 600,000 for Martin, a call from the Duff. Flop comes Jack, Queen, 8.
Seed 5 bets 600.
Mark will bet
Seed 3 folds.
600,000 and Martin will fold. So
Oh, that was his, but you paid him.
kind of got to know
I was going to tip him the whole thing.
that if someone raises it up, 9 times out of 10, you could say that the other player has absolutely nothing, and they're just because they're the first aggressor really just means that you don't want to call that down in case you don't even have anything. But even with high cards, you most likely already have the better hand. But
Seed 3 calls.
these players playing their final table very safe. There is a just under $3,000 difference between first and second place. Certainly, if I had the choice of winning $7,750 or $4,900, I'm picking the $7,750 10 times out of 10.
Seed 5 check. Seed 3 check.
Here, Martin will check, Duff will check. Got a 4 of spades on the turn. We have a rainbow.
Seed 5 bets 500,000. Seed 3 folds.
Martin bets 500K, and the Duff will fold.
Yep.
Sounds like blinds are going up next hand, so it's going to get a little bit more expensive and
No, dealer is
to
one.
play, and it's going to
It's
have some good implications on chips moving one way or another.
Next hand, blinds are up. Third walk.
Attention players,
Did I get in?
the blinds have changed. The small blind
So a couple of garbage hands there.
blind is 400,000.
The hand
Blinds
starts
are
until
now officially
right
up.
now.
Small blinds 200,000, big blinds 400,000.
One. Tim wants to go 150 and 3.
I have no idea what it was going to be.
2 of them. 2, 4, 4.
Right?
That's only 1.
Oh.
There you go. And 2 more if you'd like to continue this hand.
I was going to say, was that a walk? Shut up.
Seed 3 calls.
So the Duff calls. Options on Martin, whether he wants to check or bet here.
Seat 5 raises to 1 million straight.
Martin's raising it up to $1 million. And Martin folds. See, we're going to see this more times than not, even though Martin has the biggest chip stack. You know, Mark has to take one of these chances that when he raises it up and kind of bullies him out of the pot, he's got to catch him. One of these times, it's somewhat common to see the winning hand to be absolutely garbage pre-flop, but
1,050,000 and
Martin, $200K to call. He'll make the call.
C3 is all in.
Duff's all in. Martin a fold.
Get rid of the yellows, guys. Yellow chips, not the yellow flats.
Go ahead and take a look at the, what do you call it? Not the strategy, the technique. Technique, that's what I'm looking at. I was going to look at the technique of Matt Jensen, our dealer, but it looks like we're going to color up the yellows. There's no point in having them anymore. They are 25K. Blinds are going to be up over, yeah, they're up at 2-4, so just to help speed the game along or make it easier to stack chips and whatnot, but color up. So the only chips at the table at this point are going to be the reds, which are 100,000, and the plaques, which are 1 million. All right, so Duff looking down at 2 chips. He's going to go all in. He's ready. Martin will fold. Probably just going to take a high card in one of their hands to call an all in like that, but it's 5.6 mil to 4.7 mil on chip count. Martin is actually not the chip leader. The Duff is the chip leader by over 1 million. So none of these players, it's become very apparent, they're not settling for second. They want the $7,750 on the line. Martin will raise it up to 1.2 million. And a fold from Duff. Here, there we can see the technique a little bit better from our dealer, Matt Jensen. I don't see those fingers getting tired anytime soon. Neither are either of these players. They seem to have plenty left in the tank. All right, so Duff is all in. Martin doesn't really want to. He would be at risk, so he's going to fold. But here again, it's not likely that all these all-ins, that this person has a premium hand. Generally just, let's get it in, because any 2 cards can win. Let's see what happens. Martin playing a little bit more conservatively in the last couple times the Duff has raised on him or went all in. If you wait for a premium hand, I guess, to go call it all in, we might be here all night long. Martin, 200K to call.
Same. 1.2 million. Seat 5.
Raises it up to 1.2 million. Seems Martin is raising consistently in the small blind.
Seat 3 folds.
Duff will fold. So essentially we're just trading blinds back and forth. No harm, no foul.
I don't think I've used my one time this tournament though.
Not that I've heard.
Did I use mine? Was mine used up?
Did you accidentally use it for someone else? Seat 3 calls. That happens a lot.
So here we got queen. Oh, this is going to be the hand right here, folks. So Duff calls the big blind, or in the small blind. 200K. Martin. Martin shoves. Duff's calling no matter what. I mean, this is what we've been looking for, is two premium hands going head to head. Looks like Martin's just going to raise, but I can see Duff jamming.
Seat 3 goes all in.
Another 1.4 million. We got an all-in in the call.
Queen versus
Queens versus Ace King suited. This is what I was talking about. It's going to take two premium hands to go all in on. Can't wait around any longer. Looks like they're just about even in chip stacks, too. Flop comes
I called it.
8 King 8. Oh, Martin gets him with the king. So Duff has 2 outs and 2 outs only. He needs a queen and a queen only. It's a 7, and that's going to allow Martin.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, Martin won. We think. There might be some left over. No, he did win. Okay, so there it is. We weren't sure on the chip count, but Mark Duffner eliminated in second place. He's going to take home $4,900. Our newest DPT Season 11 champion, Martin Short of Grand Forks, North Dakota. He's taking home $7,750. We're going to take a short break. We're going to get all the pictures and whatnot lined up. We're going to come back for a final interview with our new DPT champion, Martin Short. We are back for our final interview at the Listen Inc. Monster Stack Dakota Poker Tour tournament. I'm joined with Martin Short, our winner. Congratulations. How does it feel?
It feels freaking awesome. It's good.
Is this the biggest cash you've ever had at a poker tournament?
Not quite, but it's right up there.
Okay, well, what are you going to do? $7,750. What are you going to do with the winnings?
Probably invested in crypto.
I heard you talking about that yesterday when I was dealing for you. So investing it into crypto, that sounds like a good thing to do. Don't forget, you do qualify for our Tournament of Champions at the end of Season XI. So you'll have a free roll into that and a chance to win one of our $1,500 World Series of Poker prize packages. So, yeah, congratulations, man. This is it's been a very fun tournament. We'll hope to see you down at the next one. So thanks again, Martin. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, it's been a while since I've played tournaments, but it's nice to be back, and I'll definitely be playing some more now.
Okay. Yeah, you're definitely welcome to come back. So that's going to do it for us here at the Can-At Inn in Grand Forks. Thanks all for tuning in. We'll see you all Saturday, February 12th, M&J Saloon. Until then, we'll see you all later.